Welcome to the MLB Closing Time Show, Friday, July 9th. Ian Cameron and Conor Mack ready to break down this Friday MLB card. Glad you are with us, as always. Let's get right to it. We got a game that's starting in an hour from now, the one-day game. It's your Wrigley tradition, unlike no other. A Friday afternoon game at Wrigley is often what we see, and that is the case once again today. St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs. Wade LeBlanc, the soft-tossing lefty, and Kyle Hendricks on the mound for the Cubs. We've got the Cubs here in that minus 150 range as home favorites, total 8 across the board here. As far as a side and total goes, I'm very conflicted on this game. Wade LeBlanc is the profile of a pitcher I don't want to back against a Cubs team that sometimes hits lefties good, a Cubs team that has really smashed Wade LeBlanc in the past. However, we also have to not sweep under the carpet that Wade LeBlanc's actually pitched well in his last couple starts. I don't know how. I don't know if it's going to keep up this way, but, last 2 starts for him against Arizona, 1 run, 4 hits, 4.1 innings, and then 3 hits of shutout ball in Colorado against the Rockies. With the way that team hits in their home ballpark, you do have to give some sort of credit here to Wade LeBlanc. On the other side, you've got Hendricks for the Cubs, 3.83 ERA, not quite pitching as well this year at home, 4 ERA at home, but is coming off one of his better outings. And in fact, 4 of his last 5 starts, aside from 1 start against Milwaukee where he got roughed up a little bit, have been pretty good. He's given up 2 runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts. But this Cubs team, I don't trust them to hit. We saw them got blanked 8-0. They've got some injuries in their lineup. No Chris Bryant today. He's out. Javi Baez is not going to be in the lineup today either, both of them due to injury. So it's a weak lineup out there today for the Cubs. It's not their A lineup by any stretch. So I'm not involved in this game from a side and total perspective. But what I am involved in this game with is just a simple Anthony Rizzo over 1.5 total bases and to hit a home run against Wade LeBlanc. He's 5 for 6 against LeBlanc with 3 home runs out of those 5 hits have left the yard. So I think it's a good situation and 7 RBIs as well for Anthony Rizzo against LeBlanc. So Anthony Rizzo for me, over total bases as well as to hit a home run. I like that. I think he has a big day. He's hitting 3, third in the lineup today for the Cubs. So I think he's got to be the guy for the Cubs if they're going to score runs today and if they're going to win this game. He's got to lead the charge, and he has a great track record against Wade LeBlanc. Conor, what do you think here? Cardinals, Cubs.
Yeah, Bryant's out. Is Baez in? I see that he's in the lineup, unless my lineup's wrong.
Let me just double check on that. Is he? No. He is in. I beg your pardon. Read that wrong. Okay. Yeah, Baez is in. My bad. So it's just Bryant. Just Bryant out.
Just Bryant. Okay. This one's tough. I think the Cubs with Hendricks, he's been so good at home, and LeBlanc. The weird thing, he's pitched well the last few. He's got great numbers here. I mean, sorry, Kyle Hendricks does against the Cardinals. That's what I was looking at. All these guys are hitting under 214, 227, bunch of stuff like that. I lean the Cubs. This one I didn't want anything to do with. They got blanked again, like you talked about last night. All year they did hit lefties better. I lean that way with Hendricks, but of course you got to lay the minus 150 here. This could be a first 5, half a run. Can the Cubs bring it? Can these guys, hit here? Like you mentioned, Rizzo, 5 for 6 with 3 jacks. Play him jack today. Maybe play him, over 1.5 bases. So over, a double, something like that. I think that's a good player prop in this game.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. Just the Rizzo props, total base and home run. That's the only thing I'm doing in this game. I would lean Cardinals team total under, by the way, because of the fact Hendricks has dominated them. And I would rather take that. If you think Hendricks is going to pitch well, I'd rather take that than lay the money line with the Cubs, because I don't know. Cubs get blanked 8-0 last night. That's a bad sign with their offense. And like I say, that's sometimes – and look, LeBlanc has been good his last couple starts. So tricky game all around, but I do hope Rizzo just lives up to the past and does some damage today. And on him total bases. Yeah, on him with total bases and the run prop. He has been. That's the one concern. Sometimes I'd prefer the guy that's in current form, and he isn't at the moment. White Sox and the Orioles, Dallas Keuchel, Jorge Lopez, the pitching matchup here in Camden Yards. Got the White Sox minus 140. Road favorites here in this one. The total is 10, pretty much across the board here. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the White Sox. Been a tough sledding for him lately. 6.59 ERA his last 3 starts, 5.35 ERA on the road. He's given up 13 runs in his last 6.2 innings. And the Orioles do hit lefties pretty well this season, including their last 10 games, 298 average, 5.2 runs per game against lefties. That could be trouble here for the Orioles, or for Keuchel rather, against the Orioles. Orioles can hit. Orioles offense isn't the problem. It's been their pitching. Jorge Lopez, one of those problems when it comes to their pitching. 6.02 ERA overall, not good. Not a guy I trust. The White Sox should be able to hit him pretty hard. He's given up 9 runs in his last 9 runs in 9 innings, essentially, for Jorge Lopez in his last 2 starts. Against the White Sox in the past, he's pretty much struggled in all 3 starts that he has had against them in the past. You look at the numbers going back on both of these pitchers. It's been rough sledding. Moncada, 6 for 11, 2 home runs against Jorge Lopez, 3 for 8, 2 home runs. Abreu, you can target both of them as far as I'm concerned. Total bases and home run props tonight for the White Sox. Moncada and Abreu against Jorge Lopez. I like the over in this game. Not going to complicate it. Chicago, for the most part, has been trending over for the last 10 games or so. Baltimore, I don't trust their pitching. And look, even Keuchel has struggled the last couple. Baltimore hits lefties. Pretty easy decision for me to bet over the total here. What do you think, Conor? White Sox, Orioles?
Yeah, I'm with you here on the over. Keuchel hasn't been sharp, and Lopez. I mean, look at these starts. 4 and 5 and 2 and 5 and 5 and 3 and. Yeah, he pitched well a little bit in May, but he's just getting hit hard here. And these White Sox, you mentioned it, Moncada, Garcia, Abreu, all these guys hit him hard. I went with you here on the over. I kind of wanted to take the White Sox team total. I think it gets there, but of course it's at 5.5. It is plus 105. But the Orioles should hit too. They've hit a little bit lately. They got all those young righty sticks. And Keuchel has, not been super sharp. So yeah, just give me full game over. I won't mess with the team totals.
Yeah. This game, no weather issue. Someone asking in the chat. Yeah, that is definitely going to. We're good here. It's going to be muggy, partly cloudy, but no chance of rain tonight in Baltimore. Philadelphia and Boston. Vince Velasquez, Garrett Richards. We've got the Red Sox here about minus. Looks like 125 to minus 130. Home favorites. The total in this one, 11, pretty much across the board. Garrett Richards is one of those guys where you can point to the crackdown being the start of bad things for him, bad times for him, I guess you could say. He really has been trending in a bad direction, really ever since the crackdown started. You look at Richards for the most part, 4, 6, 5, 5. It was a little bit better in his last start against Oakland, 2 runs, 5 hits, but worked his way out of damage and trouble. A lot of innings there. The home run ball has been a problem as well as of late for Garrett Richards in his last 5 or 6 starts. So I've got worries here for him tonight. The wind blowing out, of course, tonight as well in Boston. That's another concern that you would have going into this game tonight. On the flip side, you've got Vince Velasquez on the mound for the Phillies, who has, surprised me at times this year. But the last 4 starts, we're starting to see the Vince Velasquez that we know and love, the not very good one, start to reappear and resurface again. 4 runs against the Giants, only 4 innings. 4 runs against the Nationals, only 4.1 innings. 5 runs, 9 hits allowed in his last start against the Padres, including 2 home runs. So we're starting to see a regression big time now for Vince Velasquez. This is another game where I think we see runs scored. The total's high, 11. They've definitely adjusted to the fact Richards is in awful form, and Vince Velasquez has certainly trended downward after a bit of a surprising or earlier portion of the season. But I think both of these lineups, look, Phillies are actually hitting right now. Let's give them credit. We know this lineup at times can be erratic, but nothing erratic about them lately. They've scored 4, 4, 6, 4, 4, 13, 15, 8. They've only been held to fewer than 4 runs, in just 2 of their last 10 games. The Red Sox lineup should be able to do damage at home here, where they've done damage all season, and Velasquez and a bad Phillies bullpen is well behind him. So I like over the total, even at a high number of 11 here. Conor, what do you think here, Philly and Boston?
Yeah, because of that bullpen, I'm going to take the Phillies first 5 here, plus 105. And you were just talking about it. What's the difference to me? I think Philly's healthy, this lineup. I mean, if this is what it's been projected the last few, Herrera, Segura, Harper, Realmuto, Hoskins, McCutchen, DeGorius, Bohm, Miller. That's the lineup, like their A lineup. They had a lot of injuries and they didn't score runs. And lately they've been more consistent swinging the sticks. So I'm going to back Vinny here. It's not really him. I just think Phillies get some runs off Richards. So I'm going to take the Phillies first 5 plus 105. I lean over. It's up to 11, though. That's starting to get real high. So I'm going to pass on the total, but I'll take Phillies first 5 here.
All right, Phillies first 5. Kansas City, Cleveland. We've got Brad Keller pitching like Helen Keller. I've said that a million times. Tristan McKenzie on the mound for Cleveland. Cleveland here favored at home, minus 145 range, total 9.5 across the board in this one. It's been a real struggle for the Indians. They're not a team I'm laying a price with right now going into this game. Struggling mightily. They had dropped 8 straight games prior to that walk-off victory last night to beat the Royals 7-4. Walk-off 3-run shot by Franmil Reyes to get the victory there for Cleveland last night. But snapping a long losing streak. Now they face Brad Keller on the mound for the Royals. I mean, what more can we say about Brad Keller? He's been absolutely disastrous for the Royals this season. Now, he did pitch better. A last start, 2 runs allowed in 6.1 innings against the Twins. Can he keep that up? You know, that is the big question. I mean, it was definitely a positive. What was really interesting about how he pitched better against Minnesota was probably his best start of the season, to be honest with you, or certainly one of them. I think the only other really good start he had was against Tampa Bay. He held them to 1 run in 7 innings back on May 25th. Other than that, he's been bludgeoned, you know, every other start. But what was good to see about his last start against Minnesota is the strikeout number, 7. In that game. So a way more swinging strike rate spiked and went up in that start. So good stuff really there for Brad Keller. Can he keep it up here? I don't know. He's still not someone I'm fully confident with. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not confident on Tristan McKenzie. And at this price, I would consider a shot, to be honest with you, on Kansas City. First 5 innings at the very least, full game split. But again, maybe want to avoid that Kansas City bullpen, which might be a good idea. We saw what happened last night, blowing the game. They have a 7.34 bullpen ERA in their last 10 games, Kansas City. So you're absolutely probably preferring the first 5 innings if you want to back the Royals here. But I would lean to them. The one thing about Keller is he's actually been worse at Kauffman Stadium than he's been on the road. And Tristan McKenzie this season for the Cleveland Indians, I almost have to bet against him in some form here because look at these numbers from a control and command perspective. He's had none all season long. He's had 4 walks, 4 walks, 4 walks, 4 walks, 3 walks, 5 walks, 3 walks, 2 walks, 4 walks in his starts this year. A brutal display of a lack of command, a lack of control. And when you're walking that many guys, I don't want any party. And look, this is a team that had lost 8 in a row prior to last night. I honestly think I'm going to take a flyer here on the first 5 innings with the Royals in this one. And then probably another game where I would lean to the over a little bit. You certainly have 2 suspect pitchers. You have a bad bullpen on the Kansas City side. And again, a lot of times Tristan McKenzie, when he's on the mound, he can't throw strikes. So I would not be interested once again over the total along with the Royals in the first 5 here. What do you think, Conor?
Yeah, I think I lean over here in this one. And because McKenzie, other than his May 26th start against the Tigers, where he gave up nothing, he gives up 5 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, 4 runs. And Keller's more the same, other than his last start that you talked about, the 2, 6 versus Boston, 4 New York, 5 Boston, 6 Detroit, 5 to the Angels. And both guys walk a ton of people, like you were just talking about. McKenzie and Keller, too many guys on base. So, yeah, I'm just going to go full game, over 9.5. I might lean there. I haven't bet it yet, but that's my lean in this one.
All right, leaning toward the over in this one. Pittsburgh Pirates, New York Mets. We have, it looks like, it is JT Brubaker on the mound for the Pirates here, taking on Taijuan Walker for the Mets. Currently, we see the Mets around minus 210, minus 215 home favorites, 7.5 the total. Not much of an opinion here. I mean, Taijuan Walker, well priced, should win, better starter, better team, no question about that. Not in a rush to back Pittsburgh. And with the Mets lineup, which is, hot and cold, not consistent one game to the next, not exactly rushing to lay any sort of price with them. Even the first 5 innings, you got to pay a little bit of a premium on that one. So not much here for me. I'm totally staying away. What do you think, Conor, Pirates and Mets?
Yeah, this is the one from yesterday we talked about. No, it's the same thing basically today. And Walker's even more, minus 200. I think it was 190. I like to take the Pirates. We talked about yesterday with Brubaker. He's the lone guy pitcher that I kind of like, and I like to back. I lean the first 5 under 4 here. It's minus 120. The Mets are getting healthier. We talked about the Phillies. The Mets lineup's getting a little healthier. Can they start hitting? We'll see. Conforto, Alonso, all these guys are getting those guys are back. So they've scored a little bit more runs lately, but I still lean under here a little bit, whether it's first 4 or full game. I wanted an 8. It's 7.5 at even money. Just leans here on the under.
All right, next game we've got is the Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins. Old man Morton, Charlie Morton, that is. Zach Thompson for the Marlins. Atlanta, road favorites here in this one, sitting in that minus 125 range. The total 7.5 across the board in this one. Marlins, I'm telling you what, real gutsy series for them. Just completed against the LA Dodgers. Battled them pretty good in all 3 games in that series. So I was in 4 games, I should say. Took 3 of the 4. So good stuff from the Marlins. Dropped the finale 6-1 yesterday. They're sending Zach Thompson to the mound here for this start today. Zach Thompson has actually been pretty solid overall for the Miami Marlins since he's joined the rotation, which was in early June. And he has given up a grand total of just 8 runs over a span of 24 innings. Pretty good. Overall for Zach Thompson. He's faced the Braves twice, shut him out in 5 innings, and then gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in 6 innings in the last game. And he actually left the game with the lead the last time they played Atlanta, which was just 5 days ago, and the bullpen blew it for the Marlins. So it was still a pretty good outing for Zach Thompson. But now this team's going to see him again. So I do lean to the Marlins a little bit here in this game. Morton on the other side, but I just fear that, this young pitcher, Thompson, he's been good. Now you're getting a team to get a third look at him in a 1-month span. I don't know. Sometimes those situations result in the lineup having a better form at the plate against that pitcher. Morton, on the other hand, was pitching pretty well for the most part. Ran into some rough waters, though, the last 2 starts, 3 runs, 6 innings to the Mets, 4 runs, 5 hits, 5.1 innings that last start against the Braves. We'll see how it goes here. Thompson, though, here at Marlins Park, 0.82 ERA. My one fear is that now the Atlanta Braves seeing him for a 3rd time could be problematic this time around for Thompson. That being said, I would still lean a little bit here, Marlins, first 5 full game. Certainly interested, at least, in backing the Marlins first 5 full games split. Conor, what do you think here with Atlanta and Miami?
Yeah, difficult game for me. Morton's pitched a lot better, like you talked about, 7-3. His ERA's under 4, and Thompson's been really, really well, 2.25 ERA. I lean the Marlins. They swung the bat a little bit better. Yesterday they didn't, but the games before that they scored some runs against the Dodgers. I lean them here. The problem is the Braves still can't hit. They scored those 20 runs, and they had a tough time. They finally broke out against the Pirates the last game of that series, scored some runs late. And the Marlins, I want to take the over 7.5 here. But can these offense be trusted? That's a different story. So I lean over the 7.5. I think it's a little light, but it's just a lean. I'm probably going to stay off this game.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Marlins for a long time they were struggling to hit, but they came to life pretty good in the series against the Dodgers. Had games where they scored. They've actually, for the last few games, they put up an 11 against the Phillies. They scored 7 against the Braves. Scored 5, and they scored 9 in 2 of the games against the Dodgers. So this total does seem like it could get over, but just a lukewarm opinion there. Toronto and Tampa Bay. Blue Jays and Rays played last weekend in Buffalo. Now they're playing again down in the Trop. We've got, I guess we should call them Tampa Bay now, minus 130 with the success of the Bucks. And of course, the back-to-back Stanley Cups now for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay minus 130, 8.5 the total in this game. I like Manoah a lot. Now, the problem here I have with Manoah is that he had his start backed up because of the postponement last night. So he's got pitching a day off his normal routine, his normal schedule. For some pitchers, they can adjust. Some pitchers, that really does throw them off. Nevertheless, I mean, he's pitched great his last couple starts. McClanahan on the mound for the Rays. He went up against Toronto just a few days ago, and he faced this Blue Jays team. Blue Jays got 3 runs, 3 hits, 5.1 innings against him. The Blue Jays won that game by a score of 6-3. Tampa Bay, right now with McClanahan. He's kind of, again, trended downward lately. I'd lean to the Toronto side a little bit here, first 5 in full game in this one. Again, I'm a little bit concerned about the one day, having to start push back Manoah, but can't complain with the results for the most part. You throw out one bad start against Baltimore, and his last 4 starts other than that, he's allowed just 4 runs over 24 innings. And the last 2 starts against the Rays and the Orioles gave up no earned runs. The one run he allowed was actually unearned. He's on a stretch of 13 straight innings without giving up an earned run. Alek Manoah coming into this start. So that's a pretty good track record at a plus price. So I lean definitely Blue Jays here, first 5 full game. What do you think here, C-Mac, Blue Jays and Rays?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jays here at a plus price, first 5. I'm not going to go full game. That bullpen still scares me a little bit. But Manoah here, you're talking about getting the start move back. We'll see. I mean, he's a young kid. I think he'll be fine. He's got a live arm. Also, I think the Jays team total, just at 3.5 here. They see McClanahan a few times, like you mentioned, 3 runs last time. I think, they're getting a plus price. I think you should take their team total over 3.5. It's minus 135. You can even go probably 4.5, and it's plus money. I'm going to look that way as well. So Jays first 5 plus 110, and the team total over 3.5.
And yeah, we've talked about that Jays bullpen all season struggling. They're getting better, though. They've got some arms now. Yeah. They got Trevor Richards. They got Adam Simber. They're building up some depth finally in that bullpen, and we'll see if it can carry over here to this game. And they're starting to improve at least a little bit. Hard not to with the way they were pitching earlier this season. Oakland and Texas. Cole Irvin, Jordan Lyles. Oakland here, modest road chalk in this game, right around minus 135. On the road for the A's, the total 9 pretty much across the board. This one's tricky because I don't trust Irvin. I don't trust Lyles. But at these lineups, I don't know what's wrong with Oakland's lineup. It's been terrible for the better part of the last few games. They've definitely been in rough form. There's no question about that. It's tough to back them right now, this A's lineup. They've let me down a couple of times. You look at these last few games, other than a 6-run outburst against the Astros, they've scored 2, they've scored 3, scored shutout by Pivetta, which is alarming. Pivetta's good, but getting shut out at home by him is not. Eduardo Rodriguez dummies them up, shuts them down, and holds them to 2 runs. Like, these aren't premium pitchers that are shutting down Oakland right now. While I don't like Jordan Lyles a whole lot, I don't know if I trust Oakland's bats right now. On the flip side, Irvin, 3.56 ERA overall. He's actually pitched better on the road, 2.55 ERA for him away from home. He pitched against Texas back on June 22nd and pitched, I guess, I wouldn't even say okay. He was mediocre, 4 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings, but Oakland won that game 13-6 because they gave him a ton of run support. I don't know. I don't really have a great deal of faith with either of these teams. I mean, Oakland's the better team. That's why they're favored. But I'm not laying this price right now with them. And at the same time, Texas is not really smashing the ball right now. And sometimes those are the type of teams Irvin can shut down, even though he's a little bit inconsistent. So it's just all over the place for me. I'm off this game. Connor, what do you think? Oakland, Texas.
Yeah, you're right. The A's just aren't swinging it too well right now. This was a difficult one for me too. Lyles pitched a little bit better his last start out against the Mariners. And he's got great numbers I want to run through real quick. Like Matt Olson's 1 for 8, Laureano's 0 for 8, Chapman 0 for 6, Lowry 0 for 5. Bunch of 0-fers in this A's lineup against Jordan Lyles. So I lean Rangers here a little bit, and nothing on the total. I mean, I could see both guys get hit. Both guys pitch well here. So off the total, but lean Rangers a little bit, getting plus 125. I want more. And also, go ahead, play the Joey Gallo, man. It's not out. This guy's just hitting home runs. So go take his home run prop. He's hot right now.
Yeah, he sure is. He's the one guy that they've been able to get rolling consistently, hitting the long ball, getting the job done with the long ball. And keep an eye on the strikeouts. I know Sharpie's mentioned Jordan Lyles, of all people, strikeout props. It worked for him last game against Seattle. He had 6 strikeouts, and maybe you look at that again here, because even Oakland, their strikeout, they've been much more swing and miss than I've seen from an Oakland lineup in the past. So maybe that's a buy low opportunity there. Jordan Lyles once again with the strikeout prop. Cincinnati and Milwaukee, battle of lefties here on the mound in this one. Wade Miley against Eric Lauer, the pitching matchup here. We've got the Cincinnati, the Reds, Milwaukee, I should say, minus 125 home favorites, 9 the total in this game. Gosh, that was frustrating. I know there were a lot of people that were on the Reds in some form. First 5, full game, team total. I took the team total route. I know the first 5 got there. If you took that, I took the team total with the Reds, 4.5. They should have had more than 3. They should have had 8 in that game. They stranded the bases loaded each of the first 2 innings. They had a couple other innings where they stranded base runners. It was just one of those nights. They had Adrian Hauser. They were just right for the picking, and they just could not get that big-time clutch hit with guys on base at any point. In fact, the 3 runs they got in the 5th inning were gifted to Cincinnati because they're all wild pitches. Yeah, I know. It's not like they put a bat on the damn ball. It was it's like, here, take these 3 runs, Cincinnati. They're yours. That's essentially what Milwaukee did in that 5th inning. But it was just a feeble night in terms of clutch hitting for Cincinnati. So how did they fare here against Eric Lauer, who is a guy that he and Wade LeBlanc, there's a lot of similarities right now with them. I didn't trust either one of these guys. I didn't think they'd be pitching well. And yet at times they pitched better than I thought they would. And Lauer especially, 2.08 ERA his last 3 starts. They've won with him on the mound. He's pitched really well these last 3 outings. He's given up just 4 runs over 17 innings. Pretty impressive. Now you can say the last 2 starts, Colorado on the road, Pittsburgh, not great lineups. Cincinnati is a better lineup. Well, we think they are. They didn't show it last night at times, but we'll have to see if Lauer can keep it going here tonight against this Reds team. There are some guys that have hit him. Castellanos, 2 for 6. Winker, 2 for 4. Jonathan India, 2 for 4. 4 for 12 for Farmer against Eric Lauer. So keep an eye on some of these good track records here against him. Wade Miley on the mound for the Reds. The Brewers, though, against lefties, not exactly smashing them. 148 team average and 3 runs per game against lefties the last 10. We'll see how Miley fares here in this game. He is a guy that he's been pretty good overall this season for the most part. Gave up a ton of hits against the Cubs and was constantly walking a fine line the last start. But the bottom line is he minimized the damage, held the Cubs to 2 runs, and he's given up 2 runs or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. The Reds have been a consistent money winner this season with him on the mound, 10-5 in his 15 starts, 3-0 in his last 3 starts. But Brewers 3-0 in Lauer's last 3 starts as well. So a tricky one both ways here with the Reds and the Brewers, and 2 teams that are, Brewers especially, what a run it's been for them, 53-36 right now. Tough one overall. Not a strong opinion on the side because these are 2 pitchers that are in good form. They've each won their last 3 starts. Tough to go against that. Total, as far as it's concerned, I'd probably pass on the total too. 2 capable lineups, but Miley's been good. Lauer has kept opposing hitters in check his last 3 outings. So I'm probably going to end up staying off this game, Reds and Brewers. Conor, anything for you with Cincy and Milwaukee?
I know Lauer's pitched a lot better lately, but I still don't trust him. I know he's at home, minus 120. I lean Wade Miley here and the Reds. First 5, and you get a ride in even money with them. Their team total of 4.5. I mean, they have some pretty good numbers, not a ton of at-bats. Farmer's 4 for 12, but Castellanos 2 for 6, Barnard 2 for 5, Winker 2 for 4, India 2 for 4 off Lauer. So there's some success there. So I lean the Reds first 5 here, and a little bit their team total over 4.5. They couldn't do it, and I stayed off the team total, and they could score any runs like you mentioned, and luckily got those 3 on the wild pitches. But maybe today you're getting 4.5 at plus 110. They can get some runs across here with Lauer.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if Cincinnati can have better clutch hitting than they showed much of last night. Detroit and Minnesota, Matt Manning, Kenta Maeda. Minnesota, massive chalk here in this one, around minus 230 in most spots here in this game. The total right now, minus 250 now in some spots. And it's really, they've taken a lot of money in this one, and total 9.5. I think the Twins team total over is probably something I would look at here in this game. I mean, I haven't locked in anything yet, but it's the first thing that stands out, first thing that comes to mind. I just don't think Matt Manning is seasoned right now enough for the major leagues. I've seen him enough now, and I just don't know when it comes to him. He's just been not really settling in any of his recent starts. 5.17 ERA. Or 7.94 ERA this season for Matt Manning for the Tigers. He's been roughed up in his last 3 starts. You look at the way he's pitched, not very good. 9 runs against Cleveland, got walloped by the White Sox. 2 runs, 7 hits, just 2.2 innings, and they got him the hell out of there early in that start against the White Sox last time out because they knew he had nothing. So that's bad news here potentially against Minnesota here, who are starting to hit again. We talked about Minnesota's bats: 11, 6, 7, 5, 5, 3. They've scored. They've been better of late. This Twins lineup. They've been able to get the job done, scoring. Like I said, 5, 4, 6, 8, 5. They've been scoring a good amount of runs lately. I think they can probably keep that going here against Manning and the Tigers bullpen. Which the last 10 games, the bullpen for the Tigers has been a little bit better, but that's not saying a whole lot. Kenta Maeda, a guy that obviously got off to a very, very rough start this season for the Twins, shown some signs of getting things turned around. He had a terrible outing against the White Sox 2 starts ago, but last start against Kansas City was terrific, dominant, in fact. 6 innings of shutout baseball, giving up just 2 hits to the Kansas City Royals, and then he had the bad start against the White Sox before that. However, prior to that, he had given up 2 runs to the Rangers, 1 run to the Mariners. So he has started to trend in a bit of a better direction. 3.29 ERA for him at Target Field this season. Good numbers at home. So I would probably look Minnesota team total over here. And because I don't know if Maeda is someone that the Tigers for sure will hit, but I do think the Twins bats could hit Manning and the Tiger bullpen a little bit. So that would be the way I would go here with Minnesota team total. Conor, what do you think here? Detroit Mini.
Yeah, I'd lean with the Tigers first 5 at plus 195. I'd like to go with them again. Cabrera 6 for 15 with a jack. Jonathan Scope 4 for 10 with a jack. And I lean the full game over here. I think both teams. Okay, it didn't get there yesterday, but I think it could get there today.
Yeah, that was tough yesterday. I mean, they had the one big inning off Happ, and look, Happ was pretty good other than that yesterday, and they never got a chance. They had chances to add on. They had a chance to have a really big inning, Detroit, in the 6th inning, and they only added 1 run, and I knew that 3-1 lead was kind of tenuous at best, and it kind of played out that way as the game went on. New York Yankees and Houston Astros. Next up, we've got Nestor Cortez for the Yankees, Jake Odorizzi on the mound for the Houston Astros in this one. Right now, we see that the Astros currently minus 140, minus 145, home favorites, 9 the total in this game. Nestor Cortez, a guy that is obviously coming out of the bullpen, making his 2nd consecutive start. He's been a long relief guy for the Yankees in that pen. We'll see how he fares here. But against the Mets, July 4th, in his first start, 1 run, 3.1 innings, and that's what they're looking for. Get through 2 turns through the batting lineup and try to keep the team, keep everybody in check, and that's exactly what he's looking to do. Keep the opposing lineup down, and Cortez did a good job of that in his first start for the Yankees. Jake Odorizzi, man, he's turned things around. Let's give him credit. Last 4 starts, how about just 1 run allowed? 1 earned run allowed in his last 4 starts. He's been terrific. He's turned it around. I give him credit. I often think of him as someone that's maybe a little bit over the hill and someone that's a little bit tricky to trust. But boy, he's pitching well at the moment. The Astros, though, still excellent in terms of what they're able to do in terms of offense. And the one concern here for the Yankees in this game is you are talking about a lefty in Nestor Cortez. And how many times have we said it throughout the course of the season that this is an Astros team that is almost a downright juggernaut at times when it comes to hitting lefty pitching. I mean, we go down the numbers, incredible for the season. They rank 1st in batting average and OPS against lefties this year, averaging north of 6 runs per game this year against left-handed pitching. Cortez obviously did okay against the Mets. You're not facing the Mets now. You're facing the Astros and a team that's just mashed lefties all year. On the flip side, the Yankees are starting to get their bats going. They got shut down completely in the loss to Seattle yesterday. I was on the Mariners. I said, look, back this Logan Gilbert kid. He's very good. He's in great form right now. And he pitched extremely well in that game against the Yankees yesterday. But before that, the Yankees were starting to get their bats going. They had a couple of big monster nights at the plate prior to getting shut down by Gilbert. And I think they can do some damage against Odorizzi. I'm not totally buying into Odorizzi keeping this up long term. And keep in mind, Odorizzi's played a lot of baseball against the AL East going back to his Rays days. And you do have Stanton, you do have Sanchez, you do have Judge that have pretty good numbers against him in the past. So definitely something you want to be aware of going into this game. A couple of these Yankees have done damage against Odorizzi. So I lean Astros. I lean over the total here in this one a little bit. Astros probably prefer them first 5 innings, but the over I think can get there in this game. We're talking about a manageable total, all things considered. It's 9. A lot of times you see Houston totals in the 9.5 range or higher. So I'm looking at Astros and over the total here a little bit in this one. I know they had a weird day at the plate yesterday against Frankie Montas, but I don't know, maybe a flat spot, Yankees coming to town. I think and one thing about Houston is they have a great pattern of one day they get shut down, one day for some reason they don't hit. Very rarely does that extend into 2 straight games where the offense goes cold. So I think tonight could be a good night where they bounce back here. I like Astros and over the total. What do you think here, Conor Mack, who's back with us, Yankees and Astros?
Yeah, man, that was rough. Montas, Frank, that guy, he was dealing too. He pitched really well. Man, the Astros were, I don't know, 12 strikeouts, something like that. With Cortez, this guy, he went 3 1/3, obviously in that spot start against the Mets. He's probably only going to go that here. A difficult one. Odorizzi all of a sudden pitched really, really well. I mean, this guy, after getting shelled, has pitched great his last few starts. But looking through, the Yankees have good numbers off him. Torres, Odor, all these guys, Judge, Stanton, all home runs, 4 for 13, 3 for 12 for Judge. Sanchez, Gary Sanchez, 4 for 14 with a jack. I kind of lean the full game over. I mean, it's tough. Odorizzi's form's been good, but Yankees own him. Astros should hit better today after only scoring 1 run. So, I lean over here a little bit. Maybe Astros first 5. Take a little of this juice down. We'll see. Yankees got blanked too yesterday, so by the Mariners. I lean over here.
All right. Next up, we got the Washington Nationals and the San Francisco Giants. We've got right now, it looks like Paolo Espino on the mound for the Nationals, Logan Webb for the Giants. Giants minus 150. Home favorites here at Oracle Park, 8.5 the total. Espino for the Nationals, he's been pretty good. Let's give him credit. He actually has pitched pretty well for the Nationals this season. Nationals, how do they respond? Because that was a cataclysmic loss for them last night against the San Diego Padres. 8-0 lead, and you do not win that game. The Padres come all the way back and get the 9-8 victory. Crazy baseball game. Unbelievable game. I mean, Darvish we thought there was going to be a pitcher's duel, right? So much for that with Darvish and Mad Max. Sure, Darvish gets absolutely shelled, 8 runs. And then after that, Scherzer, you think, gosh, 8-0 against Scherzer, good night. This game's over. And Scherzer all of a sudden does things that are uncharacteristic of him. He starts walking guys, hitting guys, giving up a grand slam to a pitcher, a relief pitcher, a guy that was just called up from AAA, Camarena last night, Daniel Camarena for the Padres. I mean, just right then when they hit that grand slam, I said, they're coming back and they're winning this game, the Padres, when they made it 8-6 with that pitcher hitting the grand slam. And sure enough, they came all the way back and they got the win. So how do the Nationals respond? I do like what I've seen from Espino in his tour of duty as a starting pitcher this season for the Nationals. Pitched pretty solid for the most part. Comes into this start with a 1.88 ERA. His last 3 starts has given up just 3 runs in his last 14.1 innings of work. And look, he's faced Dodgers, Mets, maybe not so much the Pirates, but Dodgers, pretty impressive lineups, a couple of them. On the flip side, Logan Webb hasn't pitched since May 29th, returning from the injured list, and it's a shoulder injury. And look, he was pitching pretty well before his injury, but boy, when it's returning off a long stint like this, and it's the shoulder that was injured, I'm not rushing to back that pitcher in that first start back, especially when he's laying $150 here. if the spot wasn't so questionable for Washington, I'd probably look at the Nats here. First 5 in full game. I like the way they're competing. I mean, they played San Diego tough. They won in the first game of that series. They won the third game of that series. They could have won the other 2 games in that. They should have won last night, and they blew it. But, they've been competitive lately. They've been playing better ball, Washington. I don't fully trust Webb off the injured list for the Giants, so I would lean a little to the Nats here as a decent underdog price here, but I don't know. It could go either way. Maybe they're just totally flat and totally hungover and totally just shell-shocked from losing that game last night, or they're pissed off and they come out steaming tonight. We'll have to wait and see. But regardless, I do lean to the Nats here a little bit. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah. Well, how are they going to come out here? And I don't know what I'm going to get out of Webb coming off the injury list. That's what you talked about here. The Giants have been really good. First 5, we talked about it. Maybe them first 5 half a run, bring down the juice a little bit. Just a difficult one for me too. The Nats, I had them first 5 and then just blow. And then they just gave up all those runs. Padres come back and win it. It was crazy. And nothing on the total. The wind's blowing out a little bit, 9-10 miles an hour. Could go over, under. Just a game I'm probably going to stay off of.
All right, we got the Angels and the Mariners next up. We've got Alex Cobb, Marco Gonzalez, Angels around that -125 home favorite price in this one, road favorite, I should say. It's in Seattle. The total 8.5 across the board. Alex Cobb, corn on the cob, as I like to call him here for the Angels, 4.6 ERA. Has been good at times. It's been a weird year for Alex Cobb. Good start last time out against Baltimore, 1 run and 7.2 really strong innings. Before that, got smacked around by the Rays, 6 runs in 4 innings. Before that, lights out against the Tigers. Before that, hit around a couple of times. So it's been mixed bag, if you will, for Alex Cobb. But on the road, it's been a tough time for him. 7 ERA away from home. That definitely does concern me here against the Mariners. He faced them last month, gave up 5 runs in 7 innings in that game. But Angels gave him some good run support and ended up winning that game by a score of 12-5. We'll see if they can duplicate that here against Marco Gonzalez, who is making this start and is not someone I trust. 7 runs, 7 hits, 3.1 innings going into this start against the against the Rangers in his last start, which was not good. We talked about the Angels, how this team is just hitting right now. 5, 5, 4, 6, 4, 8, 11, 5, 5, 6. I mean, they have been consistently getting, for the most part, to 5 runs at least in the majority of their games lately. The last 10 games against lefties, they're bludgeoning southpaws, 321 average, 6.25 runs per game against lefties. When you look at the numbers here, Iglesias, Max Stassi, David Fletcher, pretty good numbers in the past, and they've all hit a home run against Marco Gonzalez. So pretty good numbers there against him. Kyle Seager has struggled against Alex Cobb in the past, and not a whole lot of familiarity for the rest of the Mariners against him. So I'm definitely leaning Angels here. First 5 full game split. Angels team total over could get there as well. I think that's something to consider. I mean, they're just hitting the ball, especially against lefties. And it's not like Marco Gonzalez is a lefty giving anybody confidence right now. So Angels in some form, first 5 full game. I think the team total might be the best option here to go with. Angels team total over. Connor Mack, what do you think? Angels, Mariners.
Yeah, this is a difficult one because Cobb's pitched pretty well this year, but he's still, I think, is up and down. He throws a good game or two, and you get high hopes, and then he can get shelled. Marco Gonzalez, I don't know. The Mariners got a big win yesterday. I lean over, and I like you gave through all those stats. The Angels team total is not a bad look. It is like -110, but Angels team total over 4.5. I like it.
All right, lean to the full game over, and the full game over is my lean as well. I just think I like the Angels side of it better with their team total against Gonzalez here in this one. Arizona Diamondbacks, LA Dodgers, and by the way, 4.5 team total, and like I said, only twice in the last 10 games for the LA Angels. So they would be 8-2 to the team total over 4.5 in their last 10 games for the LA Angels. So 8 of their last 10 games would have cashed a team total over 4.5. So that's why I do indeed like that. Again, they are hitting pretty well right now. Arizona, LA Dodgers, final game on the slate here for tonight. We've got, actually, I think there's one more that we've also got. Do we? Yeah, there is. Oh, Rockies and Padres. That's the last one. Arizona Dodgers. First, though, we've got in this matchup here. Taylor Widener for the Cardinals. It's not the Cardinals. The Diamondbacks got football on the brain. It was supposed to be David Price for the Dodgers. Now we're not so sure. The Dodgers were set to lay about -270 had it been David Price. It still might be him, but not official yet. 8.5 the total here in this game. It actually does look like it's going to be David Price. So we'll see here. But Price has transitioned pretty nicely into this bullpen role. 3.58 ERA has been solid. But again, you're talking about a hefty price, -280. No pun intended. Hefty price. -280 and no pun intended here on the Dodgers with David Price on the mound. That it's a big price. There's not much you can do with this game other than maybe you stick the Dodgers in a parlay of some kind. Like the run line's no value. The first five's no value. I can't back Arizona. No way, no how. Their bullpen, just laughable. Thank you to that bullpen, by the way, because it got the best bet home with the win yesterday. Colorado, Arizona, over 9.5. Terrible bullpen. No reason the Dodgers shouldn't win this game. They are coming off a road trip, but still, I mean, I don't think Arizona's good enough to capitalize on it. Not a big fan of what I've seen out of Widener. He's been up and down, so Dodgers probably win, but no value. I'm off the game. What do you think, Conor?
Yeah, big price. David Price is going to have to, start now with Bauer being gone. He's going to be starting. Yeah, he was doing so well out of the bullpen. I think he kind of found his spot there. Now he's got to get back and start. Huge price. Widener, the guy's up and down. 6 innings, no runs versus Washington. Same thing with the Padres, but then against the Reds, 4 runs, 3 runs. So you don't know what you're going to get. D-backs just keep losing on the road. Maybe a D-backs plus a half here, first 5. You're still getting the huge plus money. I mean, something like that. They can hang around. They hit lefties a little bit better, the D-backs, they do than righties. But just tough. Dodgers are playing well. But, yeah, they are coming back home after that road trip. So maybe a D-backs first 5 half run. I might look at that later.
All right, final. Actually, before we get to our final game, 7th inning stretch time, to acknowledge everyone in the chat, over 150 live viewers. We appreciate you guys. Brian Watson, Cheshire Cat, Kyle Hintlian, not applicable. Carlos Luders, not applicable. The real DJ X, Johnny K, Cash Action Bets, Olu. Go on down the list here. MMA Locker Room, Michael Robertson, Ariel Barrera, Platinum Paul, Javier Gonzalez, Raymond Reddington. We appreciate all you guys in the chat with us today. Joining us, Gundam Atticus. There you go. Ty Clinton. Excellent. Brian Bittler. There we go. Ty Clinton again. Looks like we got everybody. There we go. Thanks to everyone joining us here on the show. Rockies and Padres. Next up here, we've got Kyle Freeland on the mound for the Rockies. And Padres not sure yet, apparently, who their starter is going to be as of yet. So undetermined for them. It was going to be Blake Snell initially. The question is, are we going to see that now tonight? Indeed, moving forward, we'll have to wait and see on that. Man, you know what? I'm very much interested in the Rockies in the first 5 innings here. With the Padres off that kind of game last night, come on, they're down 8-0. They look dead. And they come all the way back to win, and now they've got to come back, play 24 hours later. The Rockies, again, I'm not asking them to win on the road because they just don't do that very often, although they did yesterday finally win a road game against Arizona. Still 7-33 on the road, but I just think the first 5's worth a look. We have talked about Freeland, or at least I have, multiple times on this show. He has made a mechanical adjustment, and you got to throw out the brutal ERA he had prior to his last 3 starts, because his last 3 starts, he has been a different guy on the mound for the Rockies. He has been terrific. He's given up just 1 run in his last 17 innings of work over his last 3 starts, and he's turned things around quite a bit. The Rockies are actually 3-1 in his last 4 starts. I just think this could be a little bit of a, when you have that kind of comeback last night, you can't help but be a little bit flat, okay? At least to start the game the next time out. Very real potential for that, in my opinion, tonight for the Padres. So I know we don't know who's going to start for them, but with the form Freeland's in right now, since he turned things around a little bit, I'm very much tempted to take a shot here with the big dog Colorado Rockies. They would be north of plus 200 in this game, plus 200, plus 205 in terms of a first 5 innings look. I think they could maybe sneak out of the first 5 at least with the lead in this game. Now, the Rockies bullpen, you want to stay away from it. Hasn't been good all season. And in the last 10 games, they have a 4.91 bullpen ERA, 5.41 bullpen ERA for the season. So it would only be a first 5 inning look for me. But I think the Rockies here, first 5, just given the spot, given the way Freeland has completely transformed his pitching the last 3 starts since making the adjustment, you got to take a shot every now and then. I think I'm going to do that with Colorado, first 5. Conor, what do you think here, Rockies, Padres?
Yeah, I'll wait to see who's starting there. Yeah, what Freeland are we going to get? This guy's changed it, and God, I just still think of him just getting tattooed in years past and earlier this year. But he's looked really good lately. But it's a game I'm going to probably just stay off. It's a tricky one. You're right. Padres got that big come from behind win. Maybe they're flat early. Maybe it's an under, a first 5 under look. But obviously we don't have the line, so something I'll look at a little bit later when we get the pitchers.
All right, great stuff. That's the Friday MLB card for from Conor Mack and myself. We will get to best bets and Jack of the Day in just a second. But before we do that, as we always do at this time of the show, we'll pause for messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas. When you're there, stop in, have a bite to eat, a pint or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, like I might when I go to a bar. And also live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas. Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase with Manscaped. Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved. 20% off your purchase of that product or anything from manscaped.com using the promo code PubSports and mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Of course, the NBA Finals still ongoing, MLB Daily. We've got Open Championship Golf, final major of the year, football season around the corner. No better time than right now to check out mybookie.ag, sign up, and use the promo code PubSports. Bitcoin as well is an accepted currency for your deposit. So mybookie.ag and use the promo code PubSports. All right. It is that time of the show now. We got best bets in just a second, but first, Jack of the Day.
We'll see you later.
All right. It is Jack of the Day time. Definitely some good candidates out there today. I mentioned Rizzo in the game that's just about to start against the Cardinals and Wade LeBlanc. I think that's a good way to go for home run prop today. You could look at Moncada and Abreu against Lopez. I like both of those for the White Sox against him. You're looking at a couple against there's one pitcher I thought, yes. Let me just see here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there were a couple of Astros against Nestor Cortez, Yordan Alvarez and Yuli Gurriel. Interested in them maybe from a home run standpoint. Maybe Rougned Odor for the Yankees against Odorizzi. He knows him from playing in the same division for years. And Odor strikes out a lot, but he also can hit the long ball still this season for the Yankees. So you could look at him against Odorizzi as well in terms of a home run prop. Very much interested in Max Stassi for the Angels against Marco Gonzalez, home run prop. Tatis and Pham against Freeland, even though they've hit home runs, although again, Freeland's a different guy, so I might pump the brakes on that. And I think he could pitch well tonight. So that's what I'm looking at. I like most of all Rizzo, the two White Sox, more than anything. What do you think, Conor, Jack of the Day?
Yeah, Ed Rizzo, the White Sox, Abreu, Moncada. I looked at Scope and Cabrera for the Tigers, Stassi for the Angels. That was about it for Jack of the Day, I think. Yeah, that's it.
All right, good stuff. It is time for best bet. We'll see if we can keep it going. I believe it was a sweep for us with best bet yesterday. It was Reds first 5 for CMAC, and it was Rockies D-backs over for me. Conor Mack, what do you like for best bet for Friday?
Wow, this one's a difficult one. I leaned to this because I jumped out to me last night with these bad pitchers. I'm going to go White Sox, Orioles over 10. It's -110. I think it gets there. There's good numbers off both guys, good weather. So White Sox, Orioles over 10. Oh, and real quick, Mills, I don't love the Cubs game. If it was a 4.5, I'd look at that under. But yeah, I'm off. Maybe lean Cubs first 5 with Hendricks on the mound.
There we go. All right, good stuff from Conor Mack. White Sox, Orioles over 10, best bet. Mine's going to be another over as well. Yankees and Astros, we're going to go over the 9 there. Look, Nestor Cortez, spot starter, but a lefty. And we know what the Astros do against them. The Yankee bullpen is going to be pitching a lot of their middle relief. And look, to me, their middle relief is nothing spectacular this year. In fact, their bullpen has progressed quite a bit this year as of late. And the Astros, look, didn't hit yesterday, but I've seen this a million times. They have one bad day at the plate, and the next day usually look out if you're the opposing team. They usually bounce back at the plate. I think they'll do that tonight. I think Odorizzi, look, he's been good lately. I don't think he's going to keep this up. And I think the Yankees, there's guys that know him, that have seen him, and have had success against him. And, of course, the Astros bullpen as well behind Odorizzi has struggled for the better part of the season. So, and the total for this is actually pretty cheap for a Astros game at home. A lot of their totals these days at home are 9.5 or higher. I like Yankees Astros over 9, -115. That will be my best bet for this Friday MLB card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. We will be back tomorrow and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, with our 8 a.m. Pacific, with our weekend editions of the MLB Closing Time Show. And then it is a little bit of a time away for me after the 2 shows this weekend, although I'll still be there for the NBA, each and every NBA Pub show, but I'll be away from the baseball show after Sunday until the following Wednesday, which is July 21st. So nice little break it'll be for me. Recharge the batteries. It's been work for me ever since pretty much last July when sports restarted following the pandemic. So, or the shutdown. So to get this little 10 days, to decompress a little bit, I am going to enjoy every minute of it for sure. So looking forward to that. But we'll be back with you over the weekend. We got the 2 MLB shows. We got the NBA Pub Hub on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific to get you ready for Game 3 of the finals. Bucks in big trouble, and they're going to need a response on their home floor. So looking forward to the weekend shows. Join us for that. For Conor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow on Saturday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.